So still discussing Nigeria's democracy, and here, and I'm so happy to have a lawmaker amongst us who is shedding his own perspective on this, because the table, as you said earlier, is a reflection of the views of many Nigerians.
Yeah.
And Mariam was going to jump in at some point.
Yes, I was going to jump in. I was actually going to jump in as Waike was speaking, because for me, I felt a bit shocked by Waike's point of view. Because for me, Waike's family members have seen the worst of the military for daring to speak up, against the military, for the injustices that they unleashed during that time. And I know that we don't have such a case now. It's been years that a person or a family member is so openly, harassed or abused, and there was nothing anyone could do because of the military or the administration of the day. Now we have a situation where we can sit down, we can have conversations at tables like this, we can speak our minds on social media. I'm not saying that this is a perfect situation, but we have come a long way. For us growing up, we were afraid. Yeah. I had a family member who her grandfather was part of, for those who were killed during the Zangon Kataf. These were people who were trying to protect their land, and they stood up to government. I remember then in secondary school crying with her when her grandfather was among those who were hanged. For what? For speaking for their rights. Yeah, so those were the things we remember as children. Now, we're not saying that there may be some underground ways of, but no administration will blatantly, openly stand up and wave injustice or harassment of anybody in our faces. At least I haven't seen. If there's anyone that has any of these stories, please let me know. So I believe that there has been, we're talking about democracy in 26 years in comparison to where we're coming from. And for me, that was that was the past that I remember, And if we're talking about elections, where we are today concerning elections is not perfect. There's still so many things that are, but we have a much more, especially the last election, we have a much more engaged and much more aware electorate. People know exactly who they wanted. How it eventually played out, is up for debates, as we know, and for different opinions. Some people felt that the last elections was one of the most fair and that we've had in a long time. Some people think it was the worst, but still, there is room for conversation, and we saw room for improvement. There were stories in different parts of the states where registrars, I think that's what they call them, who were supposed to oversee some elections, and they were brought to court, and they had to face some infractions that were committed during that time. In our time, times like these things would just move on, and then finally this idea of a dictator, a patriotic dictator, Nigerians will never agree. This is not, the Nigerian spirit is not for that. We are not looking for the one person who will tell you, sit down here, go left, go right. The reason why we're where we are, and it seems to be going slow, is that we are such a diverse people with different experiences and quite intelligent and quite aware of our rights. What we need to see definitely is a lot of improvement concerning when it comes to corruption, when it comes to the cost of governance. That is our major problem.
Let me pause you for a second, because Larry has been holding for a minute, but I wanted to argue on that. But let me take Larry. I'll come to you, Robert. Larry, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning. You're live.
Yes, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show. Can you guys hear me?
Thank you.
Volume.
I listen to what you are saying, and I want to believe Nigeria has gone a very long way, and that the situation we are in now is far better than what it used to be. Now, we have a lot of freedom compared to what we used to have in the past. I want to start with an incident. Sometimes in the 90s, when the late Alao Akabashorun was in UI to deliver a lecture, and we were told that lecture cannot be delivered. I was one of the guests. Then when we said why, the military administrator physically came to UI and insisted that lecture cannot be held. And we're all bundled out of that place. And you can't have such a situation right now. And I also have an American friend who we went around Lagos Street, and he said we have a lot of freedom. I said, why? He said it will never be possible for anybody to excel at the median of the road, that you can just wake up and do whatever you like. You can set up a shop, you can get out and say, I'm not doing this business again, this is what I want to do. There is nobody regulating that. You are so free to do every other thing. He said, if you find time to come and live in this country, that how come we have this kind of freedom? You can wake up and just do whatever you like. But in their own case, the society is so regulated that you live in a regiment. Even waking up in the morning, you have to follow certain rules. I think what we need to do is our value system. We have lost everything. We don't have socialization process, and we have a very low political culture. We should work on that. What is the standard in Nigeria? What is our value? That is what we are.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'll come to you, sir. Ramatu wanted to come in here.
So I wanted to come in the sense that, so for the military, I'm not advocating that the military should rule and everything, but we can see that one of our major problems is religion and tribe, right? And I've seen that in the past, there are some states which have had military administrators, that the military administrator improved that state. Now that they have a democratically elected governor, that state has not moved from that point to any other point. They are still at that same spot. Meaning that what it means is that the military administrator is from a different state. It just picked randomly to go and govern that state. And they developed that state all round without, saying, okay, I'm from this local government, I'm from this place, I have to develop this side. Or, you will see that the development happened, evenly and all. So you agree with me that the religion and the tribal sentiment is one of the reasons why democracy
Do you agree with
is
that?
not really.
Definitely. I think that is actually one of the challenges, not even the only one.
Yeah,
Somebody mentioned corruption is also a major challenge. And then you have to look at the political development of the average Nigerian. Somebody was talking about education. So good governance is a challenge in certain areas. The judiciary also has some flaws in certain areas. Even though they have done better. I won't sit here to say that it's all good and rosy.
Work in progress.
I think we can say that we have made progress, we're growing, and we're not matured yet. And what I love about Nigerians is like what you have on this table. We're never really satisfied. And that is the spirit of the American that got them to where they are today. The average Nigerian, like you're trying to say, will not accept what he will not accept. And we're going to be challenge whoever is there. We challenge.
I disagree, sir. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I disagree with. I disagree with Mariam a bit on that. Because the elite, those of you that are educated, nobody can sway you because you have independent thinking. You can decide who you choose to vote for. But the majority of the electorate, the followers, this 90.something% of those guys out there. That's the reason why one person in the state can say, I'm going to APC, and a whole gamut of people following him because they don't really care about is he APC or PDP. They don't know I'm following my leader. Where we are as a people, we are following leadership. If he said this is what we're doing, they will follow. That is why there's Babasale, there's Yaloja, there's Babaloja, because it's all about followership. People won't say, okay, this is the person that I'm going with. We're all going, okay, is it red they're wearing? All of us are wearing red. Is it Ashrabi that is our mentality. It's not even going to say, okay, they're all wearing blue to this person's wedding. Me, I'm going to wear orange. I'm wearing confidently. No, they'll feel like, no, let me not say that. I'm not part of them. Yeah. You go and find blue to wear. It is our thinking, our makeup. So who we are as a people, I'm saying that let us bring it back. Who we are as a people. I don't think we are mentally ready for what democracy needs or requirements of democracy. As a people, who we are, the majority of those who are not so educated as you, what they need is someone to come and say, today, anybody that steals right is being beheaded. And we are beheaded, we behead like 50 of them. Everybody who are lying, say, you must not steal right, so they are cutting their heads down. I'm not saying that's the right way, but the truth is, where we are as a people, maybe in the next 100 years, after more people have been educated and they are now more independent in thinking, they can say, okay, if all of you are doing this, me, I choose not, and then they make better decisions. But as of today, maybe the reason why we're going in circles is because we have not seen that this democracy as it is not working for us.
I think that is really the issue, that the impact but you cannot throw away the baby with the bathwater. Some people at some point in this country actually said that Nigeria was not ready for independence. If we go into that school of thought, we will still be under the British government, but we're not. And thank God for that. But I know I share the passion. It's because of the challenges. But they are
still our guys at the top.
Yeah. But it's better than that you are enslaved to them like we used to be. So, but I get the passion that in terms of what has democracy delivered, at the average person seeing the impact, I think that's where we're going. Now, as a practitioner, there are instances where people give folks money and they don't still vote for them. So it's not the giving that is going to be that follow you are talking about. So the onus is on us to work on all these challenges and not just the legislature. You put our own feet to fire because you have put us there. And the media, the civil society, engagement, enlightenment to the folks, you guys should do more of that so that people will not do what you're saying. Don't follow Baba Sokwe like you said. That is something that can be a source of a kind of advocacy they are going to do. So maybe that should be an assignment.
Let me take this call. Thanks for calling. You're live. I think it's Yakub. Go ahead, please.
Excuse me. Good morning, Mariam, and then good morning to our guest, Sister Yeni. Good morning, ma. I have two things to say quickly. One is my wishes, and the second one is a question to our guest. Firstly, because today is June 12th, and then I was fully participated in that election as at that time because I'm an adult as at that time. I wish the present president come out fully and declare MQ Abiola as the president, and then everything that was due to their family should be given to them. Because for me, I participated in that election, and then for General Babangida to come out later and also admit that truly MQ Abiola won that election. Professor Okfrin was also say so. So if those two people, as at that time, and then they came out and said this, what stopped the Nigerian government to declare him as a substantive president of this country? And then everything that was due as the president was supposed to give to his family, because he already paid a supreme price. That is number one. Number two, my question to our guest this morning, because I was also thinking of this in quite a long time. Sir, with due respect, you are honorable, and then you are a lawmaker. Do you think that play bargaining in our law is right? Because a situation whereby somebody stealing 100 billions of naira, and then he or she admit that, yes, truly I stealing this money that it was taken away by me, and then he now say that I was playing bargaining, and then they will ask the person to take out half of the money and pay the remaining one. So if Boraya can went to China, and then in China today you do such a thing, you know that you are going. So in that case, I don't. For me, that's my own personal opinion. Okay. I don't think that kind of a law. I don't think we need it. Okay. Good morning.
Thank you.
First, about the president, I think that for those of us that witnessed it, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not a bystander; was an active participant of the democratic struggle. There's no doubt about that, and he's one of the heroes of democracy. So there's no, and then there are a lot of pictures, apart from the fact that some of us saw it, that you will see him by the side or behind MK Abiola. So this is someone that was very close to MK Abiola, and I know that what you are raising most likely is on his mind all the time. There's no doubt about that. Now, your other question is that corruption or fraud. Yes, the government is a reflection of society. But if what you are saying is that every time we think we don't agree or we think an offense is grievous, that people should be killed, I refer you to miscellaneous tribunal. In the days of Buhari, Diagbon, there was very minimal due process, and people were just, facing firing squad. So this is not. I want folks don't realize when you want to throw away the due process is that, what if you are innocent? That's something that most people don't. If you have ever been a victim where you are not the culprit, so just killing an innocent person, even if you have 50 people that were responsible, I think it's something that is a lot much, because you don't want to be on the side of the innocent. So that's my response to that.
So
Oh, let me go on a break. I'm sorry.
Okay.
When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.